Hi everybody, welcome. My name is Amber Campbell. I am an author and a freelance editor. Today we are celebrating the release of my fourth poetry collection, The Woman I Hold Dear. This is a collection about womanhood and the titles and identities that we not only give ourselves, but also take on as women in a patriarchal society. So this kind of touches on the good, the bad, the oppressive, the freeing moments of being a woman. And it is much less sad than my last collection. For anybody here who has read Daughter of the Bottle, that did focus on, as I like to say, secondhand addiction. But The Woman I Hold Dear has a lot more, I guess, solemn moments, more melancholic. But there is a lot of uplifting in this collection, and it does center from childhood to golden years. I am not in my golden years just yet, but there's a lot of influence from the women in my life who may still be here or those who have passed away. So without further ado, I started this back with Daughter of the Bottle, but now every release day I am going to read a couple of my favorite pieces from the collection. So let's go ahead and dive into The Woman I Hold Dear. This very first one is actually I believe this was the first poem I ever shared from this collection before I announced it, and it is called Age of Old Women. Accept my sincerest of apologies, women who wear their wrinkles with pride, ladies who treasure wisdom above experience. I knew not what I still know not now, but I see well to know I need your guidance. The youth of adulthood pales beside the elegance of your thin skin and deep-set laugh lines I once perceived as a sign of life since past. A woman may be defined after blood spills, but the women I look up to have dried wombs. They have maneuvered the chaos of this world to grant patience to pistols like me who once chased ambition in the masculine lens. But I faltered and angered and seethed in my inefficacy until I discovered my feminine power to collect my thoughts, calm my heart, listen to my soul, and breathe with my being. My 30s feature a far wiser woman than my previous decade could have fathomed, and I welcome in the age of the old woman as the last remaining era I will ever seek. So this poem, as well as the next two, are featured in the very first section of The Woman I Hold Dear, and the second one is called Chores. As a child, I never understood my mother's driving force behind cleaning the dishes and wiping the counters and vacuuming the carpet and reorganizing the cabinets when my father raised his voice a little too loudly. The chore I dreaded with youthful immaturity became my solace when my thoughts raged louder than the freight train that barreled through every Tuesday and Friday at 4:27 a.m. I couldn't quiet the transportation that shook the house or silence the regrets scheming in my ears, but I could ignore it all when the burn of the water scorched my fingers like a wildfire. I controlled the soap burying itself underneath my short nails and the force of the spout as it rinsed off the day's crunchy reminders. I washed away the grime of my soul and waved as it spiraled down the drain. I couldn't temper the torrential sound waves that pelted my memories and shook me to my core years after therapy taught me to listen to their cries. But now their curses lament into soft whispers that tickle my brain, but not my rage. I focus on the sparrow outside the window, wondering if it's better to not know of cleaning as an anchor than to never appreciate a moment to stop the chatter and listen to the banter of a brown and white singer. I clean the dishes, even when the sink is empty. This next piece is titled Womanhood. Worry steeps my brain each evening I sit to write another piece about heartbreak and anger, and I fear my emotions on paper more than I fear any literary criticism of the structure. It must tie into how women are chained to the idea of marriage and children and homesteading, but we're ridiculed by men for only writing sad poems about our love lives, as if they ever provided an alternative to either our lives or the disappointing relationships they meekly offer. My womanhood contains all the parts of me and every woman who has walked this earth, and each one is tainted by a man who told her how she should be if she wants to be loved. And yet our mothers and grandmothers demanded that we speak our voice and hide from violence, and a woman has never told me to quiet my energy to allow hers to shine. But a man expects it. The men of today fail to comprehend what we desire. We beg to be equals in work and home, but within the graces of our feminine energy, because we can be women who command the stage while representing the power bestowed unto us, because God determined men couldn't handle both. We are two sides of the same coin, steely, strong, valued, but you would never dare be caught playing with a quarter without a head. I will stop writing sad poetry when you stop objectifying me. And if you heard in the background, that would be Lola. This next poem is taken from the section titled Warden. It is called No More Puzzles to Solve. You read me like a crossword clue. Paint my numbers royal blue. Fill in my Sudoku with ones and twos, convinced unlocking the puzzles will evolve into a person you no longer need to solve. But there was nothing for you to fix. The thought made you sick, all your effort so valiantly wasted as I showed my cards in their counterfeit. Your paper game skills came undone under the unspeakable icosahedron that makes up the pieces of my soul that none had been able to unravel and tie into one. I'm sorry to apologize, but the fault isn't mine, that you struggled for all that time over pieces of a heart instead of striving to find how your pieces fit into my design. This next piece comes from the section Wordsmith, and it's titled Intelligence and Other Dead Languages. My courses in school consisted of capitalized letters to signify I possessed a capacity for learning that half of my peers could not fathom, which led half of my peers to resent me and the other half to see me as their competition to please our underpaid instructors and overworked parents. Intelligence is only valued if it's measured on fragile paper that must be kept behind glass and framed in wood more costly than our dining room table, long since missing its extra leaf. Those diplomas, these certificates, the pieces of paper that prove we regurgitated enough knowledge to accrue mountains of debt in tiny desks among peeled painted rooms to spend our lives gathering more liabilities within yellowing wallpapered offices, are the papers that earn us respect. My intelligence dwindled with each passing year because no one cares about what you know or what you've discovered if it doesn't value their ambitions to earn more, to spend more, to kill the poor and the planet. Perhaps that's why all the great languages perish. Once a system reaches enlightenment, its people value other people too much, and the whole economy collapses because kindness may be worth its weight in gold, but what good does that do us when even gold will be outweighed by digital currency we'll never hold? This next piece is taken from the second section of The Woman I Hold Dear. This section is Wife. That's actually the third. My apologies. The third section, titled Wife. So we're going to end on a happy note, which is what I'm trying to do for my spoken word poetry videos here. It's a short and sweet one. This piece is titled Sunset. The sun could rise 1,000 ways and set 1,000 more, in colors so vibrant they aren't yet found on an artist's board. And still my back alone would watch the hues reshape the skies, as my heart consumed every ounce of love that lit up in your eyes. Thank you so much for joining me today for a special reading of some of my favorite pieces from The Woman I Hold Dear. This collection came out today. You can buy it from anywhere. It's available on all platforms. If you want to support Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, bookshop.org, or if you're a digital reader, Apple Books, Kobo, Smashwords, Everand. You can get it on all of those sites and e-readers. And thank you so much for everyone who has supported me on this journey. I really think this is my best collection yet, which is good. That means I'm improving. But I think this is probably the best balanced collection I have. We have some angry pieces, we have some sad pieces, but we have uplifting pieces and love poems and friendship pieces, and I adore everything about this collection. So comment down below if you've ordered it, if you've read it, what's been your favorite poem so far, because I love seeing what everyone else loves about it, because so far there has not been one person whose favorite poem was one of my favorites. So I just love seeing that. Lastly, thank you for joining me. If you enjoyed it, like it, subscribe, share, all the clicky button things. It's been a while since I said that. But I will see you guys all next time. And of course there are, I think at this point, 4 other spoken word poetry videos if you'd like to check those out, and I will link them below. And I will see you all next time. Bye.
Let's go. I got big dreams, I'ma do big things. Yeah, you see me on the big screen looking so clean. I don't move slow, I move fast.